Hi everybody. I'm going to give you a really quick set of directions today on what your reading log is and how to use it. So in your Google Classroom today, you will find the first quarter reading log. And when you open it up, it's going to look like something like this. It's a set of about 9 pages or 8 pages that are set for you. This is the cover page that you see in front of you, and you have the ability to personalize that. You can make it a background color. You can add pictures that show something about you. Maybe you want to add pictures of the book covers that you read during the first quarter. Make it interesting, make it original. Maybe I'll put some kind of a creativity grade on that, okay? Keep it appropriate, but have fun with it. The next thing in your reading log is the actual log itself. I gave this to you on a piece of paper the other day, but I changed my mind. Well, I think it's much better to keep it here. So you can see it's just like the yellow paper that I gave you. You're going to put the title of your book, the author of your book, how many pages are in your book, the date you started your book, and the date you completed. That's going to help us continue to set goals for you each week and for the quarter. I'm probably going to have you add a slide in for your quarterly goal. I'm not really sure where that's going to go right now. But then the rest of the log is these blank pages, and there's about 8 of them. We're going to do 1 a week for the first quarter, and I think we have about 6 or 7 more weeks in the quarter. So I'm going to take a minute and show you exactly how I want you to fill these in because they're completely blank. So today on your desk, you will see a sheet that looks just like this. And this is what you'll find probably at the end of every week. This will be part of our class. I'm going to ask you to do 2 things. I'm going to ask you to respond once based on your reading strategy that we focus on for the week, and once on just a reflection piece, thinking about how you feel about what you read. So today's says, select your best inference from your bookmark and explain how this inference helps you understand the story. So you didn't have to do the bookmark, but I told you if you do the bookmark, you're likely to do better in the reading log. I don't care about the bookmark. At the end of this week, you can throw it away. I never want to see it, but it's going to help you fill this out. And then the second part of this is, what was one of Brody's actions in your reading? Do you agree or disagree with what he did and why? So you're going to tell me a little bit about what you're thinking about this book. So here's an example of a bookmark. This is mine. I made 4 inferences, and as you can see, they were on pages 1 to 4. So I don't really want you using any of these. Actually, I think I might have given you one of these, and so if you use it, that's fine. But I don't want you to use that one in your log. So on page 1, I said I can infer that Brody has experience and likes the outdoors because he has planned to go camping and fishing with his friend John. I also made the inference that I don't think Pauline really likes Brody by the way she responded to him on the phone. She says, whatever, and no big deal. That was the one that we did together. On page 4, I also said, I can infer that John went to his uncle's ranch because without the camping trip, he would be bored. He says he might as well. And then my last inference is that Alex is sad about his parents' divorce. I know this because he whimpers, grinds his teeth, and sniffles at night. These things show he's sad or upset. So I think my best inference is probably this one. And this is the one that we made together, so I don't want you guys to use this in your log today. I don't really want you to use any of my other inferences. I'm hoping you go further into the book for your inferences, but I'm going to use this one as a sample, okay? So I'm going to take this inference, and I go back to that green sheet, and I'm going to start filling it in. Now, notice the questions are not on the slide. So what I expect you to do is to reword the question in your answer, and I'm going to look for that. That's kind of going to be part of how you're graded on this. I should be able to tell what the question was from your answer. So let's take a quick look at what that might look like. Okay, now I didn't fill in the top, but I do want you to fill in the top with the date that you make this entry, the title of the book, the pages that you've read. I want you to write that goal for the week, and next week on the bookmark, I'm going to make sure that you set your goal on the bookmark. There's going to be a place for it so you know how many pages you should be reading. And then I want you to honestly, I'm not judging you. I don't care if you reach your goal or not. I want you to know if you reach your goal so you can set a better goal for yourself this week. So if you said you were going to read 50 pages this week and you actually finished the book, your goal should probably be a little higher next week. If you said you were going to read 75 pages but you didn't get there, then maybe next week I want you to lower that goal a little bit. But that goal is for you to set. I'm going to talk to you about it, but I want you to develop as a reader yourself. I don't want to tell you what you should be reading. Okay? I want to monitor it and I want to discuss it with you, but I want you to make some of those decisions. All right, so let's look at my responses here. So my best inference. And I basically just copied it right off of my card, but I made sure that my reader could tell I was making an inference. I can infer that Pauline doesn't really like Brody by the way she talks to him on the phone. When he calls her to tell her that they may have to postpone their dates, he says, whatever. She says, whatever, no big deal. And then the second heart. This helps me understand the story because when I read a little more of the book, I know that Pauline really likes Brody. Knowing that she would act like this with Brody but go out with Otis makes me not like Pauline very much. So that's how it helps me understand the story more. Okay? The second one, again, it's on page 4, and my response, this was about Brody's actions. One of Brody's actions was when he decides to take Alex to the river to teach him to swim. I agree with what he did because it shows me that Brody is a good guy. Even though he doesn't like Alex and he feels like Alex is ruining his summer, he decides to make the best of a bad situation. He tries to do something nice for Alex. Okay, so some things I want you to notice about the responses. They are more than one sentence. They are complete. Someone who hasn't read the book will understand what you're talking about, and it completely answers the question. This is a graded assignment, and I'll show you in a couple minutes how we grade it. Take your time, think about the book, and give me a good answer, okay? Multiple sentence, good sentence structure, punctuation, capitalization, make it good because you're getting graded, okay? Take your time on this. Also remember that I want you to reword the question in the answer. So here I've put those parts in red. You can see that I said, I can infer that, so I know you're making an inference. And here, this part, this helps me understand the story. Look at the green sheet. That's what it says on there. Both of those are in your answer, so I can see how complete your answer is. And in the bottom, you say one of Brody's actions was when he takes Alex to the river. So that I know that was right from the question. And then, do you agree or disagree? I agree with what he did. You need to have those in there. You need to put part of the question into the answer because there's no question on the sheet. So when we look back at it in a couple of weeks, we know what you're talking about. Okay? All right, so how will the responses be graded? We're going to use a rubric. This is going to be worth 20 points and it's a classwork grade. We've got a side for the reading strategy, and we've got a side for the reading reflection. This was question 1, and this is question 2. So you use the reading strategy to make a clear and logical inference, use textual evidence, information from the story, that's what you saw or what you read, that context clue, right? And then you explain how the strategy helps you understand the text. That's kind of that inference piece, So we're going to do the score it by check marks. If you get 3 check marks, if you get 1 for all 3, you're going to get 9 or 10 points depending on how good that inference is. If it's a very shallow inference, but you got all 3, I'll give you 9 points. If it's a really good inference, I'm going to give you 10 points. If you get 2 check marks, that's mastery. I'll give you 7 or 8 points depending on how complete and how good, how rich those inferences are. But if you only get 0 or 1 check mark, you're only get it 5 or 6 points, okay? That's on the making an inference part. Over here is the reflection part, the one about Brody, and do you agree or disagree with him? So you can get 2 check marks over here. Do you show a clear understanding of the text? And have you made a connection to the text? And again, 9 or 10 points, 7 or 8 points, 5 or 6 points. If I don't think you're reading carefully or I don't think you're really understanding that story, your points are going to be lower. If you choose a really good thing that Brody did and you explain it and show me how it helps you understand, I'll give you more points, okay? I'm going to do this on paper. I'll give it back to you early next week, and we'll do one of these each week for the full quarter, and that will fill up all of these in this reading log, okay? And then then we'll start as one for the second quarter. All right, I hope that helps you understand. If you have questions, come and ask me. But so today, you're going to fill in that first block using the green piece of paper that's on your table. All right, good luck. Ask me what you need, and have fun reading. Bye.